The Essential Catholic Survival Guide. I'll say it normal now. Hey guys, the Religious Hippie here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I kind of wanted to touch on the subject of apologetics. I am in no way, shape, or form an apologetics channel. That's not what I'm about. However, I do think it's really important that we are educated in apologetics so that we can defend our faith when it is called for and needed, especially on such a social media era. So yeah, we're going to talk about why you should defend your faith and how you can do that. So the first thing we should probably understand is, what is apologetics? So I actually have a quote here from a Jesuit Father John Hardon, and he's a teacher of the Catholic faith. And so in the Modern Catholic Dictionary, page 34, it says, "The science that aims to explain and justify religious doctrine. It shows the reasonableness of such doctrine in the face of objections offered by those who refuse to accept any religion, especially Christianity, and more particularly Roman Catholicism." So that's what it's defined as. As Christians, we are called to defend our faith. By defending our faith, by defending the bride of Christ, which is the church, we are defending God. And that is something we should always be doing. Actually, a lot of hate I get are from ex-Catholics. You can't really be an ex-Catholic. When you're baptized into the church, you're Catholic. You might become a heretic by denying some of the doctrines or dogmas, but you are still Catholic. And so that's why I say ex-Catholic. Anyway, and the most hate I get are from these people. And one thing I notice is that they've never been taught their faith. They've never researched it properly. All they did was go off of what some of their friends' views of it was. They were like, well, my friend said this, and I started seeing it, and I was like, oh, they're so right. I'm like, mm-mm. So it's a lot of accusations from ex-Catholics who say that we worship saints. And they're like, yeah, people would wear, medals and say it would give them powers and stuff like that. It's like, no, you misunderstood. Or there are some Catholics out there that do believe that we do worship Mary. And we can get in the whole scientific history of the word worship and how it actually comes from honor and everything. But we're not going to get into that, because this is going to be a simple video about why we should be defending our faith and how we can do that. So basically, a lot of hate I get are from, atheists, Protestants, agnostics, you name it. But the most and worst hate I get are from fellow Christians. And that's really sad, because if we think about it, where are they learning this? Where are they learning this hate? Because it's not from God. So you will run into a lot of people like this, and I'm sorry if you do, but it's just a fact of being Christian, being a part of God's church. And unfortunately, there will be always ignorant people in the world. Some that are open, ignorance that they will learn and they do want to learn and they're open to that. And then the ignorance where they choose to not learn and they choose to not research, and they just go off of what rumor has passed down. So due to that, you are going to have to learn how to debunk some of their arguments, their claims, false claims. And the best way to do that is education. The best way you can defend your faith is by educating yourself and asking God and the Holy Spirit for knowledge. Ask them for understanding. Pray to them. Ask them, I'm reading this Bible verse, or I'm trying to understand this. God, please give me understanding, give me knowledge to understand what I'm reading. You can definitely do that. But education is so important. And I will actually suggest a couple books for you guys that you guys can read. Actually, one's on my bed right now. This is the one I am currently reading. It's called The Essential Catholic Survival Guide. I'll say it normal now. The Essential Catholic Survival Guide. Do you like my little temporary bookmark? Because I'm reading like 3 other books right now and I don't have enough bookmarks. So yeah, this is a great book. It's written by the staff of Catholic Answers, and it's a great book to reference. It's a great book to just read through. It's pretty thick, kind of thick, but I'd rather have too much information than not enough information. I know they repeat themselves a couple times in here, but it's such good information. Please get this book if you can. It is such a good book. So I'm going to mention a couple other books that you guys can read to really understand Catholicism and like the history and the faith and stuff like that. One of the books, which is kind of a no-brainer, but I feel like I need to mention it anyways, is The Catechism of the Catholic Church. Kind of a no-brainer, but read it, please, because that should be the first book you read. Now, another one you guys should be reading is the Canon Law. The Code of Canon Law. This can be found online, actually, so it's not that hard. And also the Vatican II documents. Just read through them because this is essential to our faith. We need to understand what we believe in order to be an apologetic for it. So, and by the way, apologetics means defend in Greek, so it's not you're apologizing or anything. People get that confused a lot. So yeah, those are some essentials for sure. So I don't know if you guys watch Relevant Radio or listen to it or EWTN. I'm sure some of you guys do. I love Relevant Radio. Patrick Madrid show, Trending with Timmery. Gosh, so many. I can't remember all of them, but I love it. And so Patrick Madrid actually put out a book, and that book is called Answer Me This, and this is a really good book for apologetics as well. Okay, so there's like hundreds of books I could mention about this, but these are just to get you started, so I'm just going to mention two more. And the last two are, I haven't purchased these two yet, but they are on my list. As soon as I get my paycheck, they are going in my basket and I'm buying them. A Biblical Defense of Catholicism by Dave Armstrong, and Answering Jehovah's Witnesses by Jason Evert. Those are other two that I felt like were really good. I read the introductions, I was like, oh, these look really good. So yeah, those are good. And a little bonus, because it's coming in the mail, I'm super excited. Gosh, I forget who it's by, but it's Things the Saints Never Said. And I think it's by Trenton Horn. I don't remember, my bad. But I am so excited for this book. So, there's your little extra book of the day, I guess. Now, we already established that education is mandatory for defending the faith, obviously, but how can you defend the faith? What ways can you reach the world and defend your faith? So I'll list off a couple of those. So the first way you can defend your faith is by putting your faith out there. Just kind of claiming your territory, being like, I'm Catholic. This is what I believe, by putting it on your social media page, what we truly believe. And you're gonna get some people that will tell you what you believe and it's inaccurate, but for the most part, you will still be spreading what Catholics believe, and that's important. Another way you can start defending your faith is with kind of like facts. So something I enjoy when people do is like, they're like, let's say somebody says a word and then they'll be like, oh, did you know that this word actually comes from ancient Greek and it actually used to mean this? Like, that is so cool to me. I'm like, I didn't know that. And then of course, research it yourself to make sure it is accurate. But I just love it when like people do that, because you know, you don't always have to throw religion into it, but it's definitely interesting when people show their education and they prove it and it's true. You can either defend your faith over the internet, in person, you can do it in letters. There's a million ways you can defend your faith. But I think one of the most important is the in-person, because when you're in person, you can actually tell if that person's genuine about learning, and they can tell if you're genuine about your education and serious about it. And then when they actually look it up and find out it's true, they gain more respect for you. It's like this whole thing. So if you ever get to do apologetics in person, definitely do it in person. One more quick thing I wanted to touch on is if you're in a group of Protestants, which I have been multiple times, And nothing in Catholicism really ever came up, but certain things that they believed went against Catholicism, and I chose to stay quiet. So this is important. You need to know when to speak up and when to be quiet. I always say we should defend our faith, definitely, like if it's in our face and it's like crazy, but at the same time, you need to read the audience. You need to read the situation, because some arguments might not even be worth it. Some arguments could be more detrimental than they are helpful. So I just wanted to throw that in there just to warn you guys. Just read the room, read the audience, just know when to be quiet and when to speak up. Anyway, so I'm sorry this video was shorter. I really didn't want to get into the whole argument side of things, because then there's going to be arguments in the comments, and you know, I deal with that every day on TikTok and Instagram, so I'm not going to get into that here. However, if you are struggling defending your faith, I know I personally can get really heated and kind of emotional about it, but if you're the type of person who gets more emotional than educational and scientific about things, maybe apologetics isn't for you. That's one of the reasons I don't do apologetics, is because I do get really emotional about it. And we have to come from a point of education, understanding scientific facts, stuff like that, rather than an emotional standpoint, because emotions hold no foundation. But facts, tradition, science, history, all of that stuff, that's in apologetics. And a firm understanding of how to approach apologetics and stuff, that has a foundation. So I highly suggest, like, if you are very emotional, maybe hold off from apologetics for right now, because people can change once they get educated. I know for certain things, before I would be like, I can't believe they would say that, like, oh my gosh, like, is that true, and all this stuff, and I would have doubts and all these things. And so that was kind of like dangerous in a sense for, I mean, my mental health, my spiritual health, all of that. So if you're kind of like one of those people that gets really kind of emotional and caught up in comments and emotions and stuff, which we're all emotional, but if you struggle kind of coming back with more of a like, well, why do you believe that, and getting to the center of the conversation and really having a conversation, even if some things they say might offend you, maybe just hold off on apologetics for right now. Not forever, but just until you know you might be a little bit more emotionally stable, as I like to call it, because I'm not yet. I'm still one of those people that's very emotional. But when somebody actually is very curious about my faith and learning about it and stuff, I will DM them back, and I'll be like, here's some links you can go follow, or here's a video that might explain that. If you have questions, let me know. And usually these people are very nice. They're very open to the conversation. They're not going to try and bash you. They're not going to try and, you know, convert you to whatever religion they are. These people should be genuinely interested and open-minded about this. So if you're getting more of those people who are calling you guys like worshippers and statue worshippers, blah, 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 you know, maybe don't respond to them. But yeah, as Catholics, we really want to be self-aware. We really want the face of God to shine through us to others. So it's really important that we kind of keep a level head during things. So if that's not you, again, apologetics, maybe wait a while, educate a little bit more, and then come back and see if you're ready for it. Alright, so that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know what your guys' tips for apologetics is English in the comments. And I know I'm posting this video in the middle of the week, but like, do I care? No, I don't care. Do I have a schedule? Mondays are my posting days, but like, I don't know. I kind of just wanted to post one today. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and God bless you.